We're on.
Sweet.
All right, everybody. I'm glad to be here today. I know you guys have seen the recent podcast with the guest I have. I have a really special guest for me. I've known him, I think, since 2010. Met him in
Yep.
Wenatchee, Washington. He actually turned me on to Kangen water because I'd never had experienced it until that time. Mr. Clayton Holmes, definitely former NFL football player, retired. Uh, I think you're a three times world champion.
That's it, buddy. That's
Yeah,
it.
and in the early to middle '90s with the last really it's the last Dallas Cowboy championship round still, and
Hmm.
he's part of it. And welcome, I'm glad you're here today on Connective Vibe.
Hey, I appreciate you inviting me, D. I know we eventually had to get this done. This is a
Yeah,
beautiful time to do it.
yes, it is. Man, I know that what I'm so excited about that we're going to unleash the past, which is kind of in the sports genre that people would know you worldwide or American wide, but people who know you know that you've had a change over the last what decade or
Mm.
so with your
Mm.
spiritual awakening. If you want to talk about like what was your transition from your past, could be religion, or if not, I would think coming from because I know you went to Carson Newman University, huh?
Yes, it's called Carson Newman College. I went to North
College.
Greenville Junior College first,
Okay.
and then I transferred to Carson Newman.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So anything just what's your experience like? Because we'll here on the uncensored and the connected vibe, we jump into this is about consciousness awakening
Mm.
experiences, and we just want to talk about those type of things for those who have an
Mm.
ear to hear. And if it doesn't touch you, you can leave. You don't have to
There
post.
you
But if
go.
those who are just waking up but interested, and those who have had some time and hear exactly what we're talking about, let's get it. Yeah,
Hey, that's it.
appreciate
Hey,
y'all.
D. I'll be 55 in August, D. And this experience is absolutely amazing. I mean, I truly, I love life. I love being here. Most of all, right now, I just love being at peace. I came from a, a, a very difficult place, which a lot of people do, and a lot of people don't make it out of it. But I came from a very difficult place, not understanding my behavior, why I'm here, and I am finally at peace with all of that. I have no harsh feelings for anyone. I understand things, and it's up to me that I'm realizing to straighten out the parts of my life that don't fit me. The things I've
Yeah.
picked up in life from trauma, from bad teaching, all of these things I picked up. I see that it's my goal to release myself of that and to find myself before I leave this body. And that's the path I'm on, D.
Yeah, and that's man, that's definitely a path I'm on. I go right with what you're saying. Is it's been about the last year that I've had these experiences similar to what you're doing in the way is, and I made videos about it, is learn to take responsibility, quit
Mm,
making excuses, quit
mm,
passing the buck, quit blaming others. And that to me was all connected with you taking responsibility to get rid of, because like you said, trauma, bad teaching, all this stuff
mm,
is like entanglements on us.
mm,
And they want like almost like a octopus tentacles wrapped around us, multiple ones, and we have to unwind it and get it off so we can have full clarity to be soar, be all that we can be.
yes.
I'm
And
right
D
with
it
you.
and I'm finding out that it's much easier said than done because there are some serious emotions that come with the true discovery of yourself when you realize certain things that were taught to you that aren't true. And then for me, I found myself in a place, D, where I was like, you know what, I'm relearning everything. I don't care what it is that I think I know, I'm going to relearn everything. And I got on that path, and it was heartbreaking, and it helped me realize that um, this is not an easy journey or path that I'm on right now. This is a path of completely opening your mind,
Yeah,
completely open your mind and not fighting with facts, opening your mind, because what that is going to do, it is going to lead you or lead one to what I feel like what source truly is. I think this is beautiful how all of this is set up, even though all the madness they got going on. But the way Source has this figured out to get back home, it is absolutely beautiful. And a lot of people think it's really easy as far as passing your sins and your problems on to someone else and thinking that's going to be the way to get you into what a lot of people call heaven. And it's not like that. That's this next level of heaven is not a crowded place.
Mm-mm.
And I don't believe in this hell damnation where you burn and suffer forever. If anything, now this may sound a little weird, but if anything, I think this, where we are right now, this is as worse as it can get when it comes to like a hell to me. I just feel like there's levels to this. And whatever this is, I am going to do my best to stay on this path of love, peace, and understanding and leave this body as conscious as I can, leaving as much love as I can. And I think whatever's next, whatever God is, I think he's going to, or it's going to admire that, me fighting through all of these delusions that we're under.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm right with you. Just like you said, sometimes we can get on a different folks can get on a conscious thing and everything's namaste and it's not. There's
Right.
some tough
Mm.
work that you have to do on yourself, and it's a lot of pain because you, like
Yes.
you said, you're opening up yourself and you're seeing everything that has harmed you, hurt you, and you've held on to. It's that shadow work, and you
Mm-hmm.
realize you're not hiding from yourself anymore.
Mm-hmm. That's right,
That's
buddy.
one thing. It's like the lights on, and I see everything about you. Know yourself better than anybody else knows
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you, and it's hard work. You know it's there. It's tough, but I'm like you. That's how you break stuff and go to the next level. Like you said, the next level not as crowded as hell.
That's right.
Right
Hey,
with you.
and hey, that was absolutely beautiful, Danny, what you said, and that's where I'm at now. I finally have accepted myself for who I am. And this is going to sound nuts, but I used to run from the person that I have accepted. I'm a loving, kind, gentle, compassionate. I'm a beautiful person. I've always been like this. People were telling me this ever since I was little. But I
Yeah.
just was like, oh yeah, you're saying this about me. You don't know that bad side of me. That yeah, I was a little quiet, sneaky little kid, and I understood where all of that came from. And now, oh, and I'm playing professional football, and I find myself trying to be like other people when I just needed to be like me, be who I am. And that is a wonderful embrace that I've made, D, is embracing who I truly am. And all of
Yeah.
these beautiful thoughts that I get, I don't run from them anymore. I don't think that they're silly. I embrace these wonderful thoughts that I get. So yes, it is. I found myself, and now
Yeah.
I'm clearing myself of my past.
And that's definitely what's required for us to go what's happening now and what the movement is, and them who want to embrace every aspect of themselves and see every aspect of themselves, because we've to get to this place. It seems I have this other gentleman I talked to the other day, and he's about 38. I had him on, and I had met him about a year ago at this event. And one of the things he always brings to me: why does it seem that everything that people go through pain for this, and this is what it is painful. There's pain you have to deal with you on the pain side to make the changes. And like I said, a lot of it is our like you said, our belief is to run from ourselves because we don't
Mm-hmm,
really know ourselves. Ourselves
mm-hmm,
scares us.
mm-hmm,
And then when the
mm-hmm,
light's shining, so, and I even was telling somebody this when we talked about this kind of the other day, it's in the Spain, something you had mentioned to me the other day. I was powerful because I've been on that too, is people can't receive something when you're admitting so much light, it reveals themselves to themselves and they run from it. Because
mm-hmm,
they'll say, yeah, I want truth. But when truth comes, they tend to run.
mm-hmm,
The light's really
mm-hmm,
bright that we admit, but we did some scrubbing of ourselves
mm-hmm.
spiritually, emotionally, mentally. We did some work on ourselves. And that's making the light's becoming more, what would you say, stronger, radiant?
I like that.
Hmm.
This little, with that song, D, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let
Yeah,
it shine. And
yeah,
bruh, yes, sir. I'm gonna let this one shine, bruh. And I truly, I have come such a long way. I got on Facebook in 2000, around 2012, to learn how to express myself, um, get these thoughts out of my mind. And I thought I wouldn't be able to write. I had a problem with writing. So I got on Facebook for those two reasons. And Danny, man, this has truly been therapy for me. I've mentioned this before, but this has truly been therapy. And I am truly at the point now to where I know what I have achieved and what I'm trying to give people. This is not meant for everyone, that they're going to have to want this information. So this is the new me that's coming out. This my new podcast, YouTube, Instagram. I am about to now not post things to debate. I know enough information now to help spread this love that I have. There are people that want to get to this level. There are people that are thinking about moving out of religion and more into spirituality. There are people that have already done that. And I went through that, and I'm here just to help people. Just, yeah, just be that person that you, like you, I think on your last podcast, you were saying something about following that gut instinct. Man, that's what I did on the football field, D. And now
yeah,
that's what I'm doing off the field, man. There's something
yeah,
inside of us, man. There's a beacon inside of
yes,
us, D. Yeah.
yes, yeah, yeah. Oh
Yeah,
man,
bro.
that exactly. When we
Yes,
really know
sir.
what we admit and we become aware of it, and it's been hard work, especially there's something going on now that's requiring this of us, right? At
Mm-hmm.
this time, for to me, get
Mm-hmm.
ready. The world needs to get ready in a lot of ways. Instead of looking outside of ourselves, though, we need, and that's why I kind of quit the debating, because people who are in a mindset aren't changing unless
Mm-hmm.
they're ready to
That's right.
change.
That's
And
right.
debating and arguing with them is not going to change them. It's it's really them who are ready, and you never know what seed you do plant. But man, you're
Mm-hmm.
right. So much the
Mm-hmm.
trusting your gut instinct, touching your intuition,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
really is trusting self
Yes. Yes. And I've
and
got a
knowing
and I've
self.
got I've got a glimpse of myself. I really got a glimpse of who I am. It's easy to me, D, a person's behavior and why they're doing the things that they do. And this whole goal is like we're supposed to get to an age and realize that, like, 98% of the things that I believe, it's because I grew up around these people and they taught me these beliefs. Now, have I ventured out and looked into other things? And going to college was one thing that really helped me uh, expand my mind more, because I really thought everybody was basically the same, especially when it
Yeah.
came to churches. But when I go off, it's just beautiful to have your mind open. And we have to realize that the way that we're taught in a way, it shuts our mind off. We argue and we find ourselves defending what we believe and debating instead of building, especially once you know
Wow.
that these people gave the people that gave us all these things, they didn't have our best interests at heart, and they lied to us about our things. Now, once you have that realization, once you uncover one major lie, then once you uncover one major lie, then there's something that happens. Go, okay, wait a minute. All of these other conspiracy theory things that I've heard, let me really look into these things now. And then see, that's the other thing that's going to be painful, and why people don't want to, um, or why they argue with me or why they fight with me, because they feel that disappointment coming, like, no, it can't be true. No, hell no, no. This can't. I mean, it's really going to make you
Yeah.
feel that way. So I understand that now.
Yeah.
And it's
That's
just
that
like you
light.
said.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I'm not going to, I build with people. So on my podcast, there's not going to be any going back and forth with people, because like you said, Danny, I'm at a point now to where it's like, Clayton, you already know that this conversation is not going to go anywhere. I don't care how much truth or facts you lay down. This person is just not ready for that. They're not building with you. I like to build, Danny. I like to build because every block gets me closer to source. It
Yeah.
gets me closer. I feel because so it's this is a I'm in a beautiful, beautiful place right now mentally. My body is feeling great. My mind is doing a lot better because I'm eating the right things. I'm taking the right supplements. And this is just amazing, Danny, what's going down. I'm excited to be here and I'm proud of myself and what I stand for and what I'm about to do.
Yeah. You talked about building a podcast and doing a podcast. I'm right with you. I kind of refrained recently. If you notice, I wasn't getting into those. My content wasn't getting into debating or trying to prove something necessarily. It was because I like what you say about building. And you being an athlete
Yeah,
will get this. When you're on your back heels, you're playing defense. If you're attacking, you're building,
that's
right?
right. That's
you're
right.
you're degressing if you're in your back playing defense with on your back heel because the offense is so overwhelming. That's kind of like debating. But
Hmm.
when you're building, you're
Yes,
aggressive, right?
that's
Towards a
right.
goal. I like
And
that.
people,
Yeah.
and I'm sorry for cutting you off. I'm giving you the mic
No
right back.
problem.
See, when people think about debating, when people hear the word debate, most people are like, okay, this is something to win,
Yeah.
not something to find a true answer to. This is about winning. How many
Yeah.
times have you ever heard a debate or a presidential election where someone said something and the other candidate went, wow, you know what, man? I did not think about that. That was beautiful. You know what would be awesome, D? If the presidential candidates, if one said something to the other and made him go, damn, you know what? I'm voting for you. I
Yeah.
like what you're doing. Can you imagine us having a debate like that, D?
Yeah.
And we can, but they
Yeah.
teach us to I don't care what it is you're debating about and how much truth they give you, you keep fighting, you keep debating, you keep debating. It's like that's terrible, man. So I like to
Yeah.
build. Yeah, man.
Yes. It's
Yeah.
a divide and conquer mentality, right? It's
Yes.
like you said, let's find the truth together. And you tell me what you see, and I tell you what you see. It's always who won.
That's
And
right,
guess what
man.
happens in that? It's like the conversations that you have with people. A lot of people don't listen.
Right.
They think about what they're going to say and they don't listen,
Mm-hmm.
right? What you're
Mm-hmm.
saying. And
Yes.
they think if they're in their mind while you're talking, they're not hearing you. They're thinking about their next
Yeah.
sentence
Yeah.
or their
Yeah.
next.
I did that a lot, Danny, and I still do that too. That's a powerful point. See, those are things that I've really worked on, like
Yeah.
listening to people, trying to get to the point, trying to keep things as simple as possible. But man, it's just we see it all day on the news, we see it on TV shows, all this bickering back and forth instead of admitting when I was wrong or saying, hey, you know what, you were right. You were right about that. How many people do you know where you've been into a deep conversation and they went, damn, you know what, you were right, man.
Yeah.
When the person was right, because it's hard for people to do that, to humble themselves, because we all went through that embarrassing moment when we got corrected. When somebody go, oh, you stupid.
Yeah.
Everybody has that deal. So
Right.
when you get put on the spot, especially after you've already been cussing someone out or talking down to them, when you get on the spot and somebody gives you that truth, you don't know how to humble yourself. And
Right.
again, I still am to a certain extent at the same way, but I will eventually, it just depends on how deep it is, I will eventually give the person their props, because to me, that whole situation where I got corrected, I just learned something. So
Yeah.
anytime anybody corrected me, that's where my mind goes. Like, okay, I just learned something. And then the dots start connecting even more, D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. It's the defensive mode, right? And then not wanting to be wrong. And also, like you said, if I accept this and see this the way I really maybe am seeing it, what you said earlier, that will upheave you to what does that mean for you, and they're scared and people will get scared, right?
Mm-hmm,
Or like
mm-hmm.
you said, the what do you do to answer somebody? How do you I did a video a while ago on the difference between responding and reacting,
Mm, mm.
and how the reactor, I put reaction goes out, it comes from the word reactor too. Reactors can, that blows, right? That gives a lot
Right.
of combustion. Where when you have any problem in say in the city or out there, somebody has a heart attack, you don't call the reaction team, you call the response team.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because they know how to take care and give the best care. Sometimes we react, we're not giving care, we're
Mm-hmm.
fighting, or it's very much like really connected to ego too, right?
Right, buddy. Right, right, right. And so, Danny, this has helped me to. This is the other thing too. It's bad enough when you're giving someone a truth, a fact that goes against what they believe. It's already bad enough, that feeling that comes along with it.
Yeah,
But something else that I've learned is, don't make them feel stupid by it. You dumbass. They're like talking down to people. That is
yeah,
the other thing that I've learned too. It's like, Clayton, okay, man, you try to be as gentle as possible. And as soon as this person gets angry, just shut it down, man. Just try your best. And I may still have a slip up every now
yeah.
and then, but try
I
my
do too.
best
Right
not to
here.
make this person feel bad
Yeah,
when I give them this truth, because it's already bad enough. So I want to try and give this to them in a way, and I hope I do this one day. I
yeah,
will, where I give someone the truth and they go, "Damn, Clayton, man, you're right. You're right.
yeah,
There's a way for me to do that, and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to keep this in my mind. Again, I'm not perfect, and it depends how long I've been talking with that person, but I truly had that realization that, okay, Clayton, be careful when you say this to this person, because it's going to hurt. So you be as gentle as possible, but you stand on the truth, Clayton. And
wow.
that's just me, D.
Wow, you know
Yeah.
what it reminds me when you said, because this is going to hurt us, like being a somebody, what do they call, when a doctor or somebody who does a surgeon, he has to make an incision, right? And you're doing
Mm-hmm.
incision work by giving them the truth. But how can you make the cut as clean and as not hurtful as
Mm-hmm.
possible so they could heal,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
How good
Right,
are you?
right.
And that's kind of another thing I use. I use my awareness. I kind of started building on talking about what awareness is. So when I think about those things, believe me, I can do it. I can flash like that. I kind of, on certain things, especially my weakness for me is kind of wanting to be right. Right.
Mm, 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 mm.
And then I start thinking about it. What am I doing to my energetic field? Am I dropping my vibration when I go into this reaction, when I react to
Mm-hmm.
them
Mm-hmm.
negatively? So I need to protect my energy so I don't leak. That's
Right,
kind of, started looking at it, just
right.
being aware of that. Yeah.
That's it. That's it, bro. That's it. That's it. Yeah, man. I'm a learner. I'm still learning
Yeah.
things, and I have learned a lot. And I'm in a battle, bruh. Anyone that's on this level, and I'm going to refer to it as like a Christ conscious level. I feel like when you get on that level where you have love and respect for everybody, you see everybody as family, and you're trying to get other people
Yeah.
there. Man, there's some people running things that just don't want this kind of love on this earth, and it's sad, bruh, that they
It's
really
actually
don't
the
want
foundation
us.
of it.
Yeah, they don't want us to see each other as family, and we can do that, bruh.
Yeah.
We all have the ability to respect each other and see each other as family, and
Yeah.
understand that, I don't care. People are born, and we have there's a guy named Dr. Bruce Lipton. Now, I hope I'm going to explain this right. He mentioned something about genes in a person. Like, a person may have genes to be like an angry and violent person, but that doesn't mean that when that person is born, just because they have that gene, they're going to be angry and violent. Something has to bring it out of them. So, like, that first violent experience, okay, now that child is set into a violent mode. And so I'm still like, okay, even if that's the case, we recognize things when the children are older, and we still can direct them away from that. See, we have the power to train our children, to guide our children in the right way, help them with their weaknesses, help them with their strengths, teach them balance. So we can do that. But we live in a society where it's not about prevention. It's about, okay, I know this little baby born finna go to the hood. He's finna go through all kind of abuse. He's gonna be around gang members and drug dealers. So yeah, I'm just gonna let that happen. I'm gonna build a prison for him and lock them up. So we need to be more on prevention. People are not born like angry and doing things that are outside of the norm. Something happens in our life. There are experiences that happen in our life, and like you said, it's time to break those chains, man. It's time to look and see your connection. Like, damn, I can't spend time being mad at my mama, my daddy. Because shit, I'm repeating some of the same stuff. So let me get rid of this and let me let me wash my brain. Let me
Yeah.
find a new way of let me practice a new way to be. Let me let me learn to be how I'm asking others to be. We're great at telling people what to do and how to do it, and, but we don't do most of those things ourselves.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's about getting to that point to where, and I think about this a lot, speaking to someone how I want that person to speak to me. I'm going to talk to this person how I want this person to talk to me. I'm going to treat this person how I want this person to treat me. And
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, that works. It doesn't always work, but see, that's the mind state that I'm in. It's been a beautiful journey to get here from being this shy, insecure, aggressive person. When I got like angry, I'm
Yeah.
balancing myself out. D.
Yeah. No.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah, no, that's powerful because those are the life experience, like you said, somebody born in a situation then lives it out, where they're living in a situation or being abused, whatever it may be for
Mm-hmm.
that child. Who's it's funny because I'll share these videos with people where people are doing things that are extraordinary, like doing some martial arts and doing 3 flips, and
Mm-hmm.
and how much just kind of like this is you got the power to do this, and then there's this video popped up where these 2 little kids, one's black and one's white, 2 little boys see each other from a distance and they come running towards each other and give each other the biggest hug.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just embrace each other. And I was thinking how beautiful that is because those kids don't recognize the division.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
not in them
That's right.
until it's put in them.
That's right. And when does it get into them, Danny? If either of the children have, uh, um, I'm going to use the word racist lightly, but they start seeing don't talk to him. No, he's
Yeah.
black or he's this or don't. So they start putting it in their heads, and then don't forget about the subconscious stuff that we see on TV.
Yeah.
How they put into a person's mind
Wow.
who they are just from a commercial. I mean, for instance, if you're seeing photos of God, Jesus, and all of the angels, everything is white that you see, and you're a child, everything is white that you see. They don't understand how that plays with the subconscious mind. And
Yeah.
so these are the things that cause a huge separation in us, because whether we want to admit it or not, subconsciously, because of everything that we've seen, we're looking at what God and all of this stuff are totally wrong. And it's time for this to stop, my brother. It is time for this madness to stop, and for us to truly get to that next level of being civilized. I don't think we're civilized beings yet. I think
Yeah.
when we start seeing each other as family, that's when we can. That's when we start realizing that we've become civilized. We stop all this fighting. We know how to communicate with each other, and then especially if they open up Antarctica and let us know that other lands back there. Hey,
Yeah.
people, yeah, man, this we got to stop
And
all
the
this
and the
killing and
pole and
war,
the
bro.
pole, what really goes
That's
on with the pole there. Yeah.
That's right, man. Something fishy is going on out
Yeah.
there. See, there's a lot of information, but that's
That's
another story. But
yeah.
yeah, D, I'm happy where I'm at, bro.
Yeah.
My mind is beautiful and it is wide open.
Yeah. No, it is. You were saying some stuff that was what I was seeing, and I was revelating on what you were saying because when you were explaining the observation subconscious in that was, it's like they create these reflections, right? Because everything's in light, and these reflections reflect to us the opposite, right? They're giving us the media reflections
Hmm.
of this is how you think. And then sometimes it's amazing to me because I go in the community and go around and I was like, what I see on the media is not necessarily what I see in the community
That's
when I
right.
talk,
Right.
right? When I talk
Yes.
to people or interact, and I'm like,
Hmm.
hmm, what's going on here? This is where
Hmm.
we think we see it as being they're pushing these agendas, and then us subconscious, because it's such a division. We've been divided even from people, we're divided from ourselves. They've divided us
That's
from
it,
ourselves.
brother. That's it, brother. That's
We're
it.
putting
They
ourselves back
all
together.
they have us meant us. They have a lot of people mentally enslaved. They have
Yeah.
they have a lot of people not thinking for themselves. And it is beautiful to think for yourself and to know sometimes I may have a silly thought here or there, but it's just beautiful to look around now and just think, man. To think for myself, it is absolutely beautiful. And I am ecstatic to be where I am mentally right now, D boy. And I want to share this this knowledge, this passion that I have for becoming at peace with oneself. But at the same time, like I said, now that I know what I'm bringing to the table, this isn't for everybody. And
Yeah.
people are going to have to want this, D. They're going to have to want this. But if they want it, hey, I'm telling you, there's nothing but bliss when you let go and start working on yourself and just truly becoming a better person. Nothing but bliss when you and especially when you start seeing yourself.
Yeah. Yes. No, when you see yourself, like you said, it's easy to tell people what's the best for them, what change they're going to do, but do you do the work on yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's really the inner work of self. I
Mm-hmm.
see my darkness.
Mm-hmm.
I see the things I've overcome, and I still see the things I'm working on. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
hide from me that shadow can't run. The light's too on. It runs to the corner, and you might remember. You remember the old show called The Wild Wild West?
Yes.
Do you remember his arch enemy was a dwarf named a scientist named Dr. Loveless? Have you ever watched the
Yes.
show?
Yeah. Dr.
I used to
Loveless.
call
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
shadow self Dr. Loveless.
Okay.
I said Loveless is trying to come out.
Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up, buddy. That's what's up, man. And I you know what that reminds me of, like there I don't know if you ever heard athletes saying they've been in the zone before. You get into the
Yeah,
zone. That's exactly that is a magical, beautiful place to be. You find yourself doing certain things. So when you was talking about Dr. Lovelace, that's that's that that being, and it comes over me a lot. Is when you're following your instincts. There's nothing more beautiful when you are totally in tune with what I'm supposed to be doing in this exact moment. That is a
yeah.
beautiful, beautiful place to be. And I love getting out of the way and letting my inner self take over when that happens. And just
Yeah.
yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. And you observe that and know when it's happening. That
That's right,
space,
buddy.
that energy, you actually observe it and participate, and you're in that space, right? I
Right.
used to definitely play sports. I actually coached football, basketball, and baseball for up to 10 years. I don't know if I ever told you that. I used to head coach even youth football and even into freshman football. Yeah. Um,
I didn't know that, D.
yeah. And I used to play, of course, as a child and as a young man. And then when my boys played, I started coaching and I coached about 10 years. And then I was head coach for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And besides all that, getting in the zone, I even found out that I would get in the zone and play calling.
That's what's up. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 That zone just doesn't apply to sports. I bet you a
Yeah. It's
lot of
everything. Yeah.
like writers probably
Yeah.
get into that. There's nothing
The,
like that zone. It's beautiful, and you
yeah.
can't like automatically turn it on. Sometimes it's almost like a situation, or if you meditate the right way. But yeah, it's just something that takes over you, man, and you like a split second ahead of
Yeah.
things. It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like you folded time and you're in a space, and I believe it's another frequency, another vibration that we're operating in higher than the realm that we came from, and we're able to maneuver within that. We can go all into what that means. It's a little deeper, but you know what I mean. And you're observing it and you're realizing how multidimensional you actually are.
Mm-hmm. That yeah, D. That's the other thing too. I'm going to use the word like magic again on the field. When you get in that zone, you find yourself doing amazing things. I remember looking at the film like, God, I said, damn, how did I do that? So sensing things,
Yeah.
there are all of these special gifts that we have that we don't tune in on. They don't teach
Yeah.
us on the spiritual side how to harness those things,
Yeah.
how to have what do you call it, where you look at something, you close your eyes, you can see it again. I mean, we have the ability to do that. Now imagine if you were practicing that with your children. There's a way to teach us on a more spiritual level, but they teach us on a way to lock our minds up. Like
Yeah.
the chains are all on, I don't care what color you are, the chains and the shackles are on our minds now. They
Yeah.
they 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 don't want us free and independent. They want us, enslaved and dependent.
Yeah.
And it's just beautiful to think for yourself,
And
man. But
they
they're slowly knocking
compartmentalize
that
us
down.
with
Yes,
that. Like
man.
you say, people will get knowledge even at college of certain, but they're compartmentalized. They don't see
Mm-hmm.
the other vastities of the different things they can learn because they're separated. When we start seeing alchemy and some of the stuff that we've dealt with alchemy, and some of this knowledge, Gnostic knowledge, alchemy, all this stuff that goes together, they would look at astrology and alchemy and all this stuff as all not being separate, connective.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
people aren't taught to be connective. They're always just decompartmentalized. They
That's
may
right,
know how to
man.
be a good engineer, but they don't know how to deal with this other thing because they're only in the
Mm-hmm.
zone.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
And we are coming into the place of being, we're looking not for a piece, but almost like the fullness, the what was it, wholeness. Like, don't give me a piece of the pie, I want the whole pie.
That's
Right?
right, man. That's right.
Don't give me 1/8, give me the whole thing.
That's it. That's it. They're hiding something, and there's a reason
Yeah.
for it. And yeah, it's to be conscious, man. That's where it's at. And again, I've mentioned it before. This is painful to get where I'm at because you're going to have to admit some things. You're going to have to acknowledge some things, and there is going to be a oh my God moment
Yeah.
if to get where I am. But again, there is going to be beauty after that once you get through that phase and you realize that and you realize that this is truly about a personal relationship. Whatever people want to call God, this is about a personal
Yeah.
relationship, developing a personal relationship. That's it. Yes, sir. Right
Yes.
there.
In that
That's it.
connection, right? Of so personal that it's indistinguishable from you, almost.
Right. Right. D.
Yeah,
That's
almost
it. That's
the
it.
true marriage or matrimony.
Yeah. And there's going to be an aha moment. And
Yeah,
especially if you're not an emotional person, like most men, some women don't really know how to cry at with a release.
yeah,
And it is going to be laughter, there's going to be crying
yeah,
because you've just really made a connection with truly with what